Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Premier League predictions video here. Match week 24. I say it each week, but it feels like we're flying through the season. Only 14 more game weeks to go. We've somewhat got a title race going on here. We've definitely got a relegation battle and a lot of clubs needing to make up some spots. So really excited to get into this week's action. We've obviously got the massive one being Manchester City playing Arsenal. Those two has become a bit of a rivalry in recent years, especially with Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola there as well. And also another big game is Liverpool travelling to Bournemouth, who have been fantastic at the Vitality Stadium this season. So a lot of good games to dive into this weekend. Before we get into the games, though, look back to last week. Came in at 148 of our prediction points and added 6 more. Not a great week, so our total now is 154. We need to improve on that, I think, to get to my goal of 250 come the season's end, but hoping for a few more better predictions this weekend. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, wondering how the point system works, it's 3 points for the correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result, and 0 points for neither. So looking to have a bit of a stronger weekend, this one here, with a lot of exciting games to dive into. So let's dive into all 10 Premier League games this weekend. The Saturday midday kickoff is Nottingham Forest and Brighton from the City ground. And what a game this one is going to be. Forest needing to bounce back after that 5-0 humiliation at the hands of Bournemouth last time out. The side, however, scoring 9 goals in their last 5 games, have been good going forward, but it's conceding a lot of goals has been the problem. And it's sort of reared its head in recent games. 7 goals conceded in their last 2 games. Battered by Nottingham Forest. Just avoided a really underwhelming performance versus Southampton, where they scraped over the line 3-2 in that game. So it's been a rough few weeks for Nottingham Forest, but I look to try and get back on track here at home, where they've been in fantastic form in the last few weeks. That loss, however, ended a game of 9 games where they were unbeaten, 4 wins in the last 5 home games. So all the form is with the side, and you think they'll bounce back here, especially after such a disappointing result. They'll have to just reignite those engines and go again in this one. For me, against the Brightons that's so talented and so well structured up, Morgan Gibbs-White, Elliot Anderson in the centre of the park, those creators, then they're going to have a massive role in this game here to try and break apart the Brighton backline and get Nottingham Forest on the front foot, get chances to Anthony Elanga as well as the likes of Chris Wood in the final third, and then good things will happen from there. And looking at Brighton, a very disappointing 1-0 loss to Everton last time out. They are unbeaten in the last 5 away games, and they've been better on the road, actually quite phenomenal on the road this season versus some of their poor home performances. So look to start to be competitive. They'll structure up very well, keep that high line, press Forest hard. And you know Forest don't want to have the ball. So it's going to be a battle of whose system works better, because Brighton will want to have possession, want to have the ball, win the ball back quickly, whereas Nottingham Forest will want to get on the counter-attack, sit back, absorb some pressure, and play with less possession. So it's going to be an interesting battle in that area and that regard in this one here. For me, I think it's a common trend. When Brighton's wide players play well, Minteh, Matoma, Gruder, when they play well, Brighton dominate games of football. They win games quite easily. But when they're slightly off and quiet, like we saw last time out, the team falls away. So look to Matoma and Gruder at the wide areas to be involved, use their pace, use their direct running, and getting control of this game here. With that being said, how do I see this game going? I think Nottingham Forest bounce back. I got them winning this game 2-0 at home. Chris Wood finding some form. That midfield for me wins the game for them, and they get back on track this season. The next game takes us to the Vitality as Bournemouth take on Liverpool in what is a top-of-the-table type clash. Bournemouth off the back of that 5-0 win versus Forest, they have been killing it. No loss in their last 12 games, 17 goals scored in their last 5 games. They went and backed up a 4-1 win versus Newcastle with a 5-0 win versus Nottingham Forest and end 2 teams' long unbeaten streaks and keep their unbeaten streak going themselves. And I keep saying it's on the back of playing without a striker, with likes of Lewis Cook playing right back. So there's a lot of different moving pieces, but at the end of the day, well managed, well structured, they get the job done. And this season, Chelsea's the only team out of the big boys who have gone and actually gotten results. So Liverpool have to come to this game very wary. For me, it's pretty simple. Justin Kluivert has been the difference maker. 6 goals, 3 assists in his last 4 games in the Premier League. His creation will be pivotal. He is so important, driving the ball forward for Bournemouth, playing in behind the likes of Dango Ouattara, Semenyo, as well as Wilson as well. These creative players, they're so important to the way Bournemouth play. They like to play with possession, they like to play through the lines, and Kluivert is the leader of that style of football. So look to him to have his imprint all over this game here if Bournemouth get a positive result. For Liverpool, a 4-1 easy control win versus Ipswich last time out. 9 clean sheets so far in the Premier League this season. That's the best in the league alongside Nottingham Forest. But most importantly, only conceding 5 goals in the last 5 Premier League games. So that's a real good solid side. I keep saying it. The backline, Canate and Van Dijk, that's the foundation. You build from there. When Liverpool played at their best towards the start of the season, it was built off clean sheets. It was built off comfortable wins and comfortable performances. And those at the back can lead the way for that. So look to those two to be heavily involved. And it's going to be a matchup between 2 great centre-back partnerships. Ilaz Arbani alongside Dean Huijsen have been fantastic for Bournemouth. We know good Canate and Van Dijk are. It might be a battle of which centre-back partnership is better in this game to see who wins this game of football. Obviously, Mo Salah continued his fantastic form last time out. 19 Premier League goals. He simply put is a difference maker in this game for me. If he's heavily involved, if he's at his sparkling best, if he can finish his chance off being clinical in the final third, Liverpool should win this game and win it quite easily. But he's been hit or miss in recent weeks, so look to him to be a real difference maker in this game here for me. Liverpool yet to lose on the road this season. I think they continue that run here. They win this one, but it's going to be close. Going with a 3-2 Liverpool win on the road. I think there's going to be goals galore. Both teams playing some great football. By the end of the day, Liverpool getting over the line for me. We move to Goodison Park for Everton and Leicester in our next game here. Everton off the back of a very, very hard-working 1-0 win away at Brighton in David Moyes' 700th game in charge. It was a fantastic David Moyes type performance. Look decent going forward in terms of pressuring in the final third, but being pragmatic and defensive and sitting in deep when you had to be. And Everton have got that balance and got it done well at this current point in time. You can see the improvements. 4 goals in the last 2 games. Attacking football is on the mind of the team rather than just defending. And as such, in this game here versus a weaker Leicester side, Iniman and Dye up there alongside Lindstrom, 2 players that work super hard, but 2 players who are probably the most talented in the Everton side, have massive roles to play to try and break down this Leicester back line. They're vulnerable, they're gettable, and I think this Everton side, if Ndiaye is heavily involved, if Lindstrom can come off that right-hand side and cause problems as well, I think Everton easily cruise this game for me. Leicester, obviously, they got that fantastic 2-1 win away at Spurs last time out, but I keep saying it, 18 games now without a clean sheet. They have bagged 9 goals in the last 5 games, though, so goals are at least coming into the side's game, but I can't see them really laying a glove on Everton if they're not going to defend well. So I look to that back line, Wout, Face, Vestergaard, can you be more solid? James Justin, can you be more compact? But if you're going to go in this whole goal-scoring, attacking style of football, you're going to need El Kanous, you're going to need Decordova-Reid to be at their sparkling best, because we know how resilient the Everton back four is, especially Tarkowski alongside Branthwaite with Pickford in net. You need a lot to get past this side. Like Man City struggle, Arsenal struggle. I can't see Leicester really breaking down this side, especially at home for Everton. So I've got them win this game 2-0. Leicester will try, but Everton are just too good at this current point in time. Our next game sees Ipswich host Southampton in a true bottom 3 clash here. Ipswich well beaten 4-1 away at Anfield last time out, but I think as we've all been saying, that's not the game for them. The games they need to win are these type of games here versus Southampton, out of form Southampton. Ipswich at home, this has to be a banker for all 3 points. It's 3 consecutive losses for the side that conceded 12 goals in that time, so really struggling defensively. And I keep saying this, for them, they're going to have to score 2 goals to win a game of football, because you know they're going to concede a goal in a game. So look to that back 5 again. You've got to be more compact. You've got to fight. You've got to scrap as much as possible. Southampton do look good in possession. They can break through the lines, but if you can implement a solid back 5 here, keep the shape well, it'll go a long way to win this game of football. I think the difference makers have to be those 2 down the middle. Liam Delap and Amari Hutchinson, the X factors, the dynamic players in the final third, and the real players with flair that can make stuff happen for the side. We know how weak Southampton have been defensively. If these 2 get a roll, if they get a lot of touch to the football early, Ipswich will definitely win this game of football here for me. Southampton, they were poor, good in patches. Yet again, no, not a complete performance in their 3-1 loss to Newcastle last time out. They've also lost 3 games in a row, have scored 7 though in their last 5 games. So improvements have been there. They've been a bit more competitive. But I don't see enough consistent performances from this side here. And for me, the one man that seems to stand out is Jan Badnarek, a leader of the side at the heart of that defence, has scored some important goals in recent weeks. Look to him to be the catalyst for Southampton and cause a result here. They need to be much more solid defensively. in possession as well as defending deep against an Ipswich side as well. And he's come up with important goals in recent weeks. If he can nick one, Southampton might go and nick all 3 points in this game here. So massive game for both these two sides here. Who do I see winning? I've got Ipswich getting over the line. I think at home, they play the better football. They've got the better players. I see them getting over the line quite easily. A 3-1 win here against Southampton. Southampton just simply not good enough this season. We're all the way up north for our next game as Newcastle take on Fulham. The battle of the black and whites in this one here. Newcastle, a crucial 3-1 win away at Southampton to bounce back from that disappointing 4-1 loss at home last time out versus Bournemouth. It's 12 goals in the last 5 games, only 1 loss in the last 11 games. It's top tier form at this current point in time. Yes, it was a little blip versus Bournemouth, but the side is so good to watch and they play such flowing football at this current point in time. I've mentioned so many times the midfield combination, Joelinton, Bruno Guimaraes as well as Tonali. I think Tonali has been fantastic and has elevated this Newcastle side since he's returned to the starting lineup. But I think in this game here versus a Fulham side who, yes, they defend pretty well, but it's the attacking and midfield areas which I think they've been at their best at. I think you can get at them defensively. Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon, the two of the best front, like in terms of combinations, front two in Europe, I think. They work so well together. They're so quick. They can transition. They can play with possession. They can play through the lines, they can drop in, they've got so many different avenues. I just think Fulham will be able to stop these two up top. So look to those two to be the difference maker for Newcastle here. Get off to a flying start and control the game from there on in. As we're looking at Fulham, tough loss, 1-0 at home versus Man United. Didn't really create too many opportunities in that game. And once again, a symbol of Fulham, their last 5 games, 2 wins, a draw and 2 losses. They need to look for some consistency, look for some performances from different areas, especially defensively. I think Sasa, Lukic, Sander Berge have a massive role in protecting that back four, but Bassi at the back has to be better. Anderson at the back has to be better. They've been okay, but for the money they pay for like Anderson and the hype around this back four, it's been nowhere near where it has to be. The attackers have done well, the creators have done well, but it's this back line that's really underwhelmed for me. So Sasa, Lucas and Sander Berge have to do a massive job defending and protecting that back four, but those centre-backs in particular, massive job to shut down Alexander Isak, and they're going to have to be at their best here if they want to be competitive. No draws between these two sides in the last 7 games, and I think it continues in that favour here. Newcastle, the home team, fantastic at home, playing some great football. They get a 3-0 win here for me at home. I just don't think Fulham have the quality to stop this amazing Newcastle front line. Our next game is at the Molineux, and it's a derby. Wolves take on Aston Villa. Wolves coming off the back of a disappointing, hard-fought 1-0 loss at home versus Arsenal. In the end, João Gomez almost inflicting the pain by getting sent off. Both teams went down to 10 men, and then they eventually conceded. But in recent weeks, it's been a real struggle for Wolves. 3 consecutive losses, no win in the last 5 Premier League games for Pereira's side here. No clean sheet in the last 6 games. Only 3 goals scored in the last 5 games. There's struggles all over the park. And Mateus Cunha isn't carrying the side like we saw at the start of the season. That midfield competitive isn't there since what we saw over that Christmas period in time. We know how weak that back line is. And I think for me in this game, Doherty, Santi Bueno, Agbadou as well. The 3 centre-halves have to be at their best. Ollie Watkins just feels like he's about to go off this season, and it might come in this game here if these guys aren't careful. And we know the danger that Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tielemans hold as well. So that central area for Aston Villa, that's their goal scorers, that's their threat. So that back 3 for Wolves have to be super compact and super solid in this game here to keep it competitive. Looking at Villa, a 1-1 draw last time at home versus West Ham. They'll be disappointed. It's been a real interesting season for them. They struggle to score bags and bags of goals and play really entertaining attacking football like they did last season. It isn't quite that same movement and fluidity in the final third. They're unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League games, but only 2 wins in that time. So that sort of shows the problems. Like they're getting a lot of draws, not scoring many goals, and it's not quite the entertainment factor which you saw last season. I said it last game, I'm going to say it again. Leon Bailey alongside Ramsey in the flanks, they're your complementary pieces. If they're at their best, all of a sudden backlines get stretched, especially against a Wolves side that the wing-backs don't defend it necessarily really well. If you can get in behind those wing-backs, get at that back 3, you can cause all sorts of problems. And I mean, Ollie Watkins can get off the leash here in this game. With that being said, I think it's going to be a real ugly scrap of a game. Villa aren't in great form in the Premier League. Wolves are obviously in horrible form. I just see Villa getting over the line in a tough one. 1-0 here for me. They get the job done and they leave with 3 points. We move to the G-Tech for our next game in an all-London affair. Brentford taking on Tottenham in what could be a very, very high-scoring game here. Brentford obviously get that 2-1 hard-fought win away at Palace last time out. Just corrected a mini slide from the side. They have scored 9 goals in the last 5 games, but only 2 wins in that time. So showing the problems of the side, conceding goals, conceding late goals, conceding goals in clumps. So they're going to have to look to be much more solid and more consistent to the 90 minutes here versus a very weak Tottenham Hotspur side. For me, the key player has to be Mikel Damsgaard in number 10 there. Another assist last time out. He's been fantastic this season. I keep bringing up, he's one of the most chances created in the Premier League this season and has been vital for Brentford, especially in the final third there and going forward in transitional play. So look to him to be at the centrepiece of everything which Brentford do in this game here. And if he's heavily involved, I think Brentford might be able to get a win in this one here. Looking at Spurs, a 2-1 awful, disappointing loss at home versus Leicester last time out. You know, outside the Premier League, it's been going all fine, but in the Premier League, it's been super, super lean for the club. 10 goals in the last 5 games, but no Premier League win in the last 7 attempts. So it is a struggle out there. There's goals, but there's not enough good work defensively. And I think that's where I come to with the key players. Pedro Porro and Archie Gray, not known for their defensive acumen as fullbacks, but they're going to have to be switched on in this game here. You can't allow the Vissers, the Kevin Sharders, the Mbermos, and the likes to have runs in behind at will, to get spaces in behind to work into. So Pedro Porro and Archie Gray, keep compact, keep deep, and keep Tottenham in this game. And equally important, going forward, get deliveries in the box, feed that front line there, and hopefully good things can happen with Richarlison leading the line. How do I see this game going? Both teams not defending well, both teams attacking quite well. I've got a 2-2 draw. I think it's destined to be a draw this game here. Both sides attacking very, very well. It's been one of the more entertaining games, and I think it ends in a 2-2 draw. We move to Old Trafford for our next game as Manchester United take on Crystal Palace. United grinding a 1-0 win away from home versus Fulham last time out in the Premier League. It's now 3 wins in a row for the club in all competitions. So getting back on track. The first time the club's done that this season. So some good signs here. The light at the end of the tunnel. What has been a very, very dark tunnel for Manchester United this season. For me, I think United, you build from the back. In recent weeks, Lisandro Martinez, Matthias de Ligt have been in fantastic form. Look to those who yet again to be the foundations, the building blocks of a good, complete Manchester United performance. If those two are playing well, if they're keeping Crystal Palace at bay, United can attack at will and with a bit of freedom, and it allows that midfield a bit more license to push on and create. And when you get those overloads, and when you get midfielders like Mainu, Bruno, Ugarte towards the edge of the area, United normally create some good chances and score some heavy amount of goals. So look to that back three in particular, being Lisandro Martinez and Matthias de Ligt, to keep it compact and be the foundation, the building blocks for Manchester United, and a very solid performance in this game here. For Palace, it was a difficult 2-1 loss last time out versus Brentford. They were very competitive. They probably played the better football through the large portions of the 90 minutes, but didn't come away with all 3 points. They were unbeaten in 6 games prior to that, so they've played some good football. They've actually travelled away quite well in recent weeks, 4 wins in their last 5 away Premier League games. So they're going on that department there, and they won't be fearful of Old Trafford, especially considering some of the results that have happened there this season. For me, the middle of the park, Lerma and Hughes, those energisers, those players that get into tackles, make it a scrap, make it robust. Look to those guys to be the leaders of the way in this game here. If they can offset Bruno Fernandes, they can offset Kobbie Mainoo, it'll go a long way for Crystal Palace getting involved in this game and potentially getting the result. When Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo aren't involved for Manchester United, when Man United midfield gets overrun, that's when they often lose games of football. So a massive battle for Lerma and Hughes in the centre of the park here in this game for me. How do I see the result going? I don't know. It looks like a draw, but I'm going to back United in. I think they continue their winning run. I think it's built off the back of some of those chance-creating players, but most importantly, keeping Mateta, Eza, perhaps Ismaila Sarr at bay. So I think I see United win this game 2-1. Home crowd behind them, continue a good run of form. United get over the line here for me. The penultimate game is the big one from the weekend. We go to the Emirates as Arsenal take on Manchester City. Arsenal getting that 1-0 very impressive win away from home versus Wolves, considering how bad that red card was against Lewis Skelly in that game there. They fought hard, they got the line in the end, and probably played the better football after going down to 10 men. So the competitive spirit is there. Improvements have come in recent games as well. 10 goals in their last 5 games, unbeaten that time, winning games in Europe, winning games in the Premier League. It's all starting to come together all of a sudden once more. So I hope they can continue that into this game here. For me, it's a massive job for Rice and Partey. Those are 2 deeper lying midfielders behind Martin Odegaard. We know how good City are in the centre of the park, and when City have been playing well, which they have done recently, it's been built to that midfield area, dominating games of football. Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Kovacic. These players have been much improved in recent weeks, and it's because they've been able to run right in the centre of the park. So look to that Arsenal combination to really make it a scrap, compete in there. Not allow Kovacic time and space on the ball, not allow De Bruyne to roll him into different spaces. If Phil Foden comes down the centre, not allowing him time on the ball to pick his pass or pick his shot. Big job for Partey and Rice in there to really make competitive and keep Arsenal in the game, because the midfield area could be where this game is won or lost for me. Looking at City, complete performance, 3-1 win versus Chelsea last time out. Obviously, that drama in the Champions League, but in the end got over the line. So it's been good for them. 16 goals in the last 5 games, playing some much better football. And when I look at this side and I look at how they go, especially going forward, it's been the bright spark. Goals has been the answer to a lot of their problems this season. Erling Haaland, Phil Foden finding some form. But I think those two, and more importantly, alongside Omar Marmoush, is going to be the difference here. How do Arsenal stop Haaland, Marmoush and Foden? 3 different styles of players, 3 different archetypal players. The pace and directness from the likes of Omar Marmoush. The trickiness of Phil Foden to find spaces and passes, and the direct, just clinical finisher that Erling Haaland is. I know Saliba and Gabriel are good, but I can't see them stopping that front 3. That's just too much. So a massive game coming from Erling Haaland and Omar Marmoush. I think as a front 2 sort of combination, they could single-handedly rip this game apart from Arsenal. It's about if they get on the right wavelength from minute 1. There's been 3 draws in the last 4 games, however, between these 2 sides. So I'm going to back in a draw with all that being said. Got a 1-1 draw here. I think Arsenal will take the 1-1 result. City happy with the 1-1 result. And in the end, I think both teams will just agree to be happy taking the point from this game here. Our final game is another all-London affair. From Stamford Bridge, we have Chelsea and West Ham. Chelsea obviously coming off the back of that disappointing 3-1 loss to City in the Premier League last time out. It's been quite a strange run for Chelsea in recent times. 12 goals in the last 5 games, however, only won 1 Premier League game in their last 5 attempts. So form gone out the window, consistency gone out the window. No clean sheet in the last 6 Premier League games ever. You need more defensive solidity. Chalobah at the back alongside Cole have to be much better. Too many spaces, too many mistakes, too easy teams able to transition through that midfield and through the back line. So look to that back line to be a bit more compact, bit more competitive, and then it'll go a long way for Chelsea winning this game of football. And another important player has to be Nicholas Jackson. When he's heavily involved, Chelsea are winning games, they're playing better, look more fluid in the final third. Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez look much more complete footballers. But when he's not getting as many touches, Nicholas Jackson, when he's not heavily involved, when he's not assisting or scoring himself, Chelsea to fall apart. In recent games, this poor run has been off the back of Nicholas Jackson not really featuring in any of these games. So look to him to have a key fingerprint on everything that Chelsea do in the final third in this one. For West Ham, a handy point, 1-1 away at Aston Villa. It's been 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss with Potter in charge. And then we see improvements, more importantly, in terms of the pace they're playing with. A bit more quicker, playing with a bit more intensity in the final third, and that's a good sign to see. And I feel like going to this game here, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been in fantastic touch, not only defensively but going forward as well, providing an option to cross the ball into the box, to cut the ball back to a midfielder running into the box late. So look to Wan-Bissaka to be a key player here for West Ham, covering off defensively, shutting down the likes of Noni Madueke, Neto and co, but also more importantly, going forward and getting deliveries into the box and getting West Ham on the front foot. So Wan-Bissaka a key player for West Ham in this game here. With that being said, how do I see this game going? I think Chelsea have to bounce back. They will bounce back here. Got a hard-fought 2-1 win here against West Ham. They'll make it difficult, West Ham, but not enough to match the quality which Chelsea have in their side. With that being said, ladies and gents, that brings this prediction video to an end for Matchweek 24. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who's some of the key players from the weekend? What's your score predictions from the games on the weekend? And which game are you looking forward to the most? For me, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, top 2 for me. It's going to be a fantastic weekend for Premier League action. and cannot wait to watch it with you guys as well. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please try to smash the like on it, subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more videos and podcasts here on the channel, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the upcoming weekend's football action, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.